Good evening, Drew.
There he is. How are you, buddy?
Not too bad. How about yourself?
I got myself a little glass of Malbec here. Feeling pretty
Oh,
good.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, boy. I'm not really sure where we want to start.
I think we should put the first thing at the end.
Okay. That's
Just-
fair.
Just in case we get spoilers, people can just check out.
Okay. Yeah. I'm really.
Yeah.
You seem very excited about it. You very rarely text me during the week.
Yeah, so at the end of the episode, we're going to talk more about Mass Effect, and there will be probably some Mass Effect 1 spoilers. Maybe some Mass Effect 2 spoilers. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah,
Definitely
we'll
Mass
see how
Effect
it
1.
goes.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
see how it goes.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Before we dive into the other topics du jour, I was really pleased to see so many people chime in about Mass Effect. People that I didn't even realize play video games chime in about Mass Effect. I mean, that's,
Nice.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that later. But okay. So first topic.
Mhm. I can just read it out loud if you want a nice
Yeah,
segue.
let's go. Yep.
Hey, Drew, what's wrong with your butt?
Yeah, something's wrong with my butt.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
So this is a carefully veiled reference to it might be time for me to get a new office chair.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay. For context, I have two chairs in my office, one at each desk. The chair. Okay. Here, let's play a game. So there's two chairs in my office. I have I guess what you would call kind of a modern office chair. When I bought the desk that I currently use for work, I had an option to buy not a super expensive office chair. Like, let's be honest, there are office chairs that you can buy for your home that are like $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
absolutely.
what is the name of that one company? Good Office Chairs. This name always comes up. Not the Secret Lab crap.
NotGoodHousekeeping.com?
No. Branch, Fixed Foot, Airflow. Herman Miller. Herman Miller.
Yes, Herman
Okay.
Miller. Those are very expensive chairs.
Yeah, so apparently Herman Miller is like the Michael Jordan driving a Cadillac of chairs, okay? And they're expensive, okay?
They
And
are.
I have other expenses right now that's just not something that is not a luxury that I can afford. But that is I have this other chair in my office, and I couldn't even begin to tell you what brand it is. I don't even think it has a name on it, but it's decent. It's held up well. It's relatively comfortable. It has good lumbar support. It even has a headrest. So it's a nice chair. Not a great chair, not a bad chair, just a fine chair. The other chair I have in my office is a chair that belonged to my grandfather. It was built, I think, in the 60s. It is made of wood. It has metal casters on the bottom. When I had it at my old house, it's got springs, it's got oil, it's got all kinds of stuff. It's a very messy chair. So I have it on a pad in my office right now. Like I said, it is made of wood. It's got arms, and that is the chair that I currently sit in at work every day. Now, after hearing this description, Paul, and this is a trick question,
Okay.
which chair do you think I hurt the most in when I'm done sitting in it?
I'm going to go with the second one, the one that you seem to like more.
The wooden chair?
Yes.
It's not. It's actually
Okay,
this
okay.
more quote unquote ergonomically modern office chair. Now, in fairness, I sit in my gaming, well, I call it the gaming chair because it is at the gaming computer, and it's also the chair I'm sitting at right now. But in this chair, because it is a little bit, how do I say this? The arms, I'm sure if you have arms on your chair.
I do not.
Okay,
I'm not-
yeah. I don't have the option of taking these ones off, or I would, but
It's very, I know, it's people are like, what? You don't have arms on your chair? It's very, if if I have arms in my chair, I use them, and that causes me to have RSI issues. So I only get chairs where I can take the arms off.
well, and I don't know, unless I'm sitting in a meeting, right? Back in the olden times, back in the before times when we had meetings in person, I would often rest my arms on a chair, and that's just what arm rests were for. But if I'm ever sitting at like a computer working, my arms are like on my desk. They're never on my armrest. Like, is that weird? Like they're like, I have like the perfect keyboard typist stance, right? Like fingers resting on the keys, wrist slightly elevated or whatever the right, I don't know. Maybe that's wrong. I don't know.
They should be flat, but that's okay.
Flat. Yeah.
Yep.
But like, in all the years I've been using computers, all my entire life pretty much. I would think that by now, if I'd been doing this wrong, I'd probably have like carpal tunnel, but maybe, and I have like really like dainty wrist already. So it's like one of those things where I feel like I'm prone to it. So I must be doing something right. Anyway, the armrests of this chair, like they come out of the bottom, right, where the seat is, but they don't go all the way to the front of the cushion, right? They kind of like come up and then jut out. So there's like this gap between the seat and like the armrest. You kind of know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Yeah. What that affords me to do is I can sit cross-legged in my office chair.
Okay.
So right now, like I'm sitting here talking to you, and this isn't planned. This is just something that happens. Like during extended gaming sessions or when I'm working or sitting at this computer or whatever, I often find myself sitting like crisscross applesauce is the way we're supposed to say it now, but there's another word for it.
Yep.
And I've sat this way like a lot. Like I used to sit and play Nintendo for hours to where like my legs would fall asleep and I couldn't walk, right? But it's just the way I sit. But for whatever reason, okay, the last couple weeks I've been sitting in this chair and I have developed this nagging pain in like my left butt cheek.
Ooh.
Now, for the life of me, I don't think I'm leaning to one side. So I don't know if like it's the cushion or it's my butt or there's something going on with like, and it's so asymmetrical, right? Like if you take your hand, okay, like take your hand and like put it on the base of like your tailbone.
Okay.
Right. I consider that to sort of be the center. And then if I move my hand slightly to the left, like right above the butt cheek is where it hurts. Okay. So like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I'm sure I'm sitting in my chair wrong.
Perhaps,
right? But it startles me a little bit that it hurts this. Now, I can't sit like this in my office chair because the arms in that chair are made of wood. They are not adjustable. Like they are part of the chair frame, and they go like almost, I don't know, 3/4 to the front of the chair. So I can't sit like that in that chair. So I typically sit in that chair, and because it's on springs, like it has some limited recline, but I very rarely lean in it because the springs make ungodly noises. And what's really funny is like if I lean very slowly, it sounds like I'm farting in the chair, which can be upsetting to people.
Sounds like. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, so I'm kind of in the market for maybe a different chair if the chair is to blame. I want it to be the chair. So I'm wondering, what are you doing for chairs?
Okay, I just popped a link into the show notes for you.
Okay.
So I'm giving you all of their chairs. Okay.
Okay.
But I'll tell you which one that I have.
Mm-hmm.
I posted a link to a company called Autonomous. Autonomous.
Yes.
Autonomous.ai.
To make your desk, right?
Well, no, my desk is mono price. Remember, you yelled at me.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Okay. But my desk is fine, by the way. I also, when I started working from home, I realized my office chair was garbage. I tried a quote unquote gaming chair. My chairs are very personal. Like it just didn't work for me. It did not work for me. So I started doing some research into nicer chairs. I didn't want to spend thousands of dollars, but I was willing to spend, hundreds of dollars. And I came across this company, Autonomous, and they sell office chairs. I have the Ergo Chair Pro. It's a $500 chair. Now, granted, this company has a very mixed reputation. They are known for basically paying people to give them good reviews on the internet.
Autonomous?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you watch a lot of YouTube reviews, like a lot of them, like it seems like a good number of them are paid reviewers, like, hey, we'll give you a chair if you give us a good review, or we'll give you money if you get a good review. So I kind of went into it knowing that. Now you find people on the internet who are like, yeah, I didn't take their money. I bought this chair myself. Some people liked it. Some people didn't. I gave it a try. I like it. It's great for me. It's wonderful. It's perfectly adjustable. It's comfortable. I sit in it a lot. It's very, I'm a man of a certain age who's also a man of a certain weight. So I don't want my chair to be hot because I don't want a sweaty back. It's got a mesh back that I find very comfortable and not hot.
I'm sorry, which one are we talking about here?
I have the Ergo Chair Pro.
Okay.
They sell other ones. I got the Pro. If you look online, like even like the least bit hard, you can find like codes to get like 10% off or whatever. Like there's codes all over. There's codes all over the place.
Codes all the way down.
Now the one thing that people generally do not like about this chair is the armrests. They say they're not comfortable and they do not lock in place, so they constantly slide back and forth. For me, I don't give a rat's ass. I never put those things on. They're in the basement. I don't use them.
I'm looking through the pictures on the website right now, and I'm trying to see if they have any pictures of the ones with the armrests off. Doesn't look like it. But I'm assuming they just kind of bolt on there.
Yeah, they're absolutely. Yeah.
Does it look weird? See, okay. So I have questions, right?
No. Okay.
So my first question is, like, a lot of these office chairs, right? They give you the ability to detach the arms, but some of them, like when the arms are off, there's very clearly a slot where there should be an arm. You know what I mean?
So the Ergo Chair Pro, they literally just screw on into the bottom frame of the chair, so underneath the mat. It looks absolutely normal without the
okay, that's good.
Without the arms. So yeah. So I have no complaints about. I know exactly what you're talking about. There is no like obvious slot missing or anything. It just looks like there's no arms on the chair.
Okay. All right. So next question then. What color did you get?
Red apple.
Ooh, I was just looking at that. Red does look pretty good.
Yes. Also, at the time I bought it, they were having a sale on the evergreen and the red. I'm like, you know what? I'll save $25, whatever.
Well, it's interesting, right? I'm noticing that it has a couple little neat features. Is that little pad in the middle adjustable for support?
It is.
Ooh.
It is hard to move.
Oh.
But that's good because if you put pressure on it, like if you lean back, it does. You don't want it like magically like popping down, right? So you really have to like get out of the chair and really get at it to move it up and down. But it does move, yes. So you can get it like right in the crux of your back. So what Drew's talking about, so the back is mesh, but it's behind the mesh. It's got this like lumbar support thing, so it kind of gets into the crux of your back. Honestly, like I love this chair. It improved my posture. It solved, like, I was having some back pain in my old chairs. That's gone with this new chair. It's great. It's great, and it's only $500. And they have at least they used to. They had a policy of like, you don't like it, we'll come get it and give you your money back. So.
I mean, they're good-looking chairs, right? And it looks like there's a model that is one step up from the one that you had called the Ergo Chine Recline, which basically has, are those stirrups? Are you giving birth in this chair? Like, what is happening there?
I mean, yeah. So yeah, it looks like there's a little table thing that kind of comes out. So if you just want to lean back and take a little nappy poo while you're at work,
Lord knows I have time for that.
Yeah,
hard pass on it. Like that is not a $100 upgrade.
Yeah. No, and they also sell like an Ergo Chair Pro Plus.
Yeah, I'm looking at that.
Is a little bit. I don't think that one existed when I bought it.
Well, it is $700.
It's more expensive. It looks like it's
11 lockable positions,
fancier.
adaptive TD backers. Okay, so let's just take a peek at this guy. Yeah, it looks interesting. Oh, there's a picture of a dog in the. Okay.
Yeah.
And somebody has a gaming setup with one and tennis rackets and what I can only assume are wiffle ball bats. Yeah, I mean, this is a good looking chair. Now it's funny, right? So while you were talking, I just very quickly looked at the spot where I bought mine, and I bought the chair that I'm rocking is the Vert ergonomic chair.
Okay.
It looks like they have slightly updated it from when I bought it because, well, no, maybe not. It looks kind of the same. I have the white chair, and it has like a silver mesh backing with like this weird. I'm trying to see if you can get a good picture of it, but like if you look at the back of it, it has like this weird, like almost like an exoskeleton thing that like makes up the back panel, and it's fine. Like it's good on carpet. It's like I said, it's relatively comfortable. And part of the reason I bought this is I bought it at the same time I bought my desk. So I got a little bit of a combo bill. Now this one's only $400. I say only, right?
Only, yeah, right.
But it's $399.
I mean, there's not a comma in the number. It's not Herman Miller territory.
So yeah,
right? I get it. Yeah,
no one,
yeah.
I don't have Herman Miller money, but it's like I said, this is what I have now, and for the longest time, it was the chair that I was sitting in when I was working. Now it is the chair that I sit in for like everything that is not work, if that makes sense. But anyway, it's funny that you sort of linked to the Autonomous website because I haven't looked at the Autonomous brand since I was initially looking at standing desk, because Autonomous for a long time was sort of known as the cheaper standing desk alternative. And, I'm sure that their desks are fine. The thing that I didn't like about them is they either came in like small or extra large, and there wasn't one that like fit my space. But we have to take a quick diversion, and we have to talk about the work pod.
Hold on. I'm looking for this. The work pod.
Go to the homepage.
Okay, all right, going there now. Oh.
Okay.
It's.
Yeah. Hey, do you miss the office? Do you want a cubicle with a door? $21,000.
Huh.
$21,000. It's apparently all weather.
Yeah, soundproof. Sound insulated.
Wow.
So you can drop one of these productivity boxes in your backyard. God. I also want to point out that like almost every picture of this clearly is photoshopped.
Oh, no, 100%. I'm pretty sure that family isn't real. Pictures.
Oh.
It only takes a few enjoyable hours to complete the ultimate Lego set. Fuck right off. If this thing's $21,000, it better show up complete. Holy shit. You're going to need 2 ladders if this thing's to be believed. Holy shit. Sturdier than building from scratch. It's got a steel frame, cement like pads. It's got some shelves built in there. It's basically like, hey, are you an adult and you want a clubhouse you could work in? I mean, it's got some nice windows. Oh my God. Can you imagine the HOA complaint if this showed up in someone's yard?
They'd have pitchforks. Apparently they have customers because they have customers saying what they like about the work pod.
How many reviews?
Well, let's see. They have
Got one guy in California. Everybody, I guarantee you. Oh, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Dan Oliphant. One of my people bought this. Wow. Wisconsin.
Wow.
A lot of people in California.
Wow.
Now, okay. Game recognized game. Like, it's not. I don't know. I kind of like it. I like this modern take on this, but it's obviously not air conditioned, right?
Oh, couldn't be.
Couldn't be. Yeah, you're hotboxing all your farts in there all day.
Yeah.
Book a tour. We should book a tour. Can we book a tour?
No.
Book a visit. Oh, wait. Okay, wait. You can only do it if you're in California, apparently. California showroom, Oregon showroom. Oh, my God.
It doesn't have... Okay, so I'm in the frequently asked questions.
Oh, okay. Let's go there.
What is the airflow situation? In addition to its air conditioning unit... AirPod also has an exhaust fan and an air duct.
Okay, hold on.
Fresh. So it has an air conditioner.
Specifications. All it does is building and assembly. The nuts and bolts. It shows like this. Okay, building and assembly. Okay. I got it. Okay, I found the instruction book. Components. Right wall C. Foundation. Book wall. left frame, right frame, electrical cabinet, concrete base. Okay, so there's apparently some kind of electrical cabinet.
You have to plug it in. All you need to do is connect the outdoor wire to an existing power source from your home. It says it's simple.
Ventilator switch. Okay, hold on. Electrical devices in the pod. RCB, residual circuit breaker, wall outlet, floor outlet, ceiling light switch, ventilator switch, portable air conditioner with heating. Oh, okay. So, okay. And they actually give you conduits so you could run the cable underground.
Okay.
Wow. You know what? I really wanted to dunk on this, but I think I might like this. It's a clubhouse for adults. Yeah, it looks like a huge pain.
Free shipping if you order by April 20th.
Yeah, it would. For 21 grand. Again, for 21 grand, you better come in here. Oh, they got pictures of people with hard hats putting this together. Wow. Okay, sorry. That was a weird hole to go down. But yikes. Yeah, and it still looks like Autonomous still builds desks and everything. But yeah, you mentioned a couple other chair companies there to get back on task. Secret Lab is the one that gets thrown out there a lot, and it's a gaming chair. Like, it's one of those like DX Racer family of chairs. And like, I actually read an article, and I can't find it right now. I've been sort of Googling in the background, but I read an article that like there's one or two companies in China that basically produce the same chair. And it doesn't matter if you're Logitech or if you're DX Racer or if you're what's the other one? Secret Lab. Like, it's all the same chair. So like, you know, it's, I don't know. Right. It's that those ones seem like anything gamer related just seems like a scam to me. If it says gamer on it, like, I tend to gravitate away from it. But anyway, my butt hurts. I might be getting a new chair. I'll keep you posted on that one, but I can't really right now. Okay, let's keep the home office vibe going. So I think I might have mentioned to you that I have some changes going on at work right now, where I'm doing different stuff than I normally do, and it is good. It is challenging, but I have to take an abundance of notes. Now, it's not to say that I don't take notes when I'm doing my day job, as I call it, but there's like a lot of different irons and a lot of different fires. You know, I have a notebook on my desk. I have Bear. I have OneNote, and I just cannot seem to find something that helps me keep everything in front of me that I need to work on. So I have like one part of my office that has a bare wall on it, and I thought about getting a whiteboard for it. Just like go to Office Depot or Amazon or whatever and just buy a whiteboard, tack it on my wall, buy a couple dry erase markers, and like keep that as my to-do list. And I'm thinking, maybe, I don't know, just something about me hates that idea. Because I think a whiteboard will look pretty tacky. You can also get like those ones that are made out of glass. I think looks a little bit better. But again, I play VR and I don't want to punch a glass wall next to my computer, right?
Yep.
But, and this is going to seem weird, I started looking at intelligent whiteboards. Thinking, you know, I'm sure that I could get something that is like e-paper or something that is, you know, gives me the ability to do like interactive whiteboarding. Like, for instance, I mean, your wife is a teacher, my wife's a teacher. Classrooms these days have things like smart boards, right, where you can put stuff on your computer and project it on there, or you could take a marker, like a digital marker, for lack of a better word, and like write stuff on it and keep notes on it and all that stuff. So I started looking into this, and I was immediately shocked that, number one, you're actually spoiled for choice, and two, how expensive these son of bitches are.
Yeah, they're pricey.
Yeah. So I looked around at a few here, and I just wanted to bring a few to your attention. Like, the one that I think is probably the most, I don't know, straightforward, I guess, is Google makes one called the Jamboard. It's $5,000. I think it's 55 inches, and it's basically like a TV, that you hang on the wall that you have markers for. So like you could hang this on the wall and you use it like a whiteboard. And I'm assuming that you know, if you're a Google Docs user, you could project docs up there and write things to your docs file and all that stuff. That would probably work fine if I was willing to spend $5,000, but Google Docs and where I work is problematic.
I was going to ask, like, it's not going to work with your technology stack, right?
No,
Okay,
no,
yeah.
no. Now, the company I work for makes one of these, and they call it the Surface Hub. Have you seen those?
Yeah, I have, yes.
Yeah. Now, so it's the Surface Hub 2S. And I've used one of these because I've been in offices where these have existed, and they're wonderful. They're very thin. They're very nice. They're actually pretty good looking. They don't have a huge bezel. They are 50 inches, but they are $10,000. So it's going to be a no for me, dog. So that's going to be a no.
You can't get a discount on that.
Like, for reasons I won't go into in the air, no.
Okay.
Now, there's a couple other companies out there that make one. There's a company called Vibe that makes a smart whiteboard as well.
I'm sorry, their name
I know.
is bad.
I know. That's an unfortunate name. Again, they make a 55-inch whiteboard where you can do this thing. It's a little more economical. It's more in line with what I think you would spend on a nice like OLED 4K TV, probably more. Theirs is only $3,000. And it does come in 55 inches. And then if you want a stand or something, I want to mount mine to the wall. So that's, whatever. But it's 55 inches. It comes with 2 styluses. It actually looks pretty good. They're actually sold out everywhere, which is interesting. You can't even get this right now. And I think you have to order directly from them. But if you were doing like a video call or something, you could like host it on there, which I think is pretty interesting. And it's basically just a huge 55-inch touchscreen, which I think is pretty cool. And of the ones that I've looked at, it seems to be one of the better ones. And then the other one that I saw, I don't know if I put it in the chat. It doesn't look like Samsung also makes one. They call it the Samsung Flip Display. And this one's really fascinating because much like our phones and tablets, you can rotate it. So you can use it like in widescreen, I guess, for lack of a better display, or like traditional like tablet layout, which is interesting. I don't know. But again, it's a little more on the pricey side if I remember. So I'm trying to click shop now. Just let me, the 55-inch. Well, no, it's $2,100. It's actually cheaper than I thought. I must have been looking at something else today. But yeah, it's black and white, I think. And okay. Get it by January 27th. I could have it soon. The problem, now here's the other problem. A lot of these seem to be locked at like 55 inches. I'm not sure I could get away with 55 on this wall because it's like a side wall. I don't know if I could do it.
Too big?
Yeah, too big.
Got it.
Too big.
Well, also, like if you get anything smaller, you're
yeah. I would just use my tablet.
I am just generally skeptical of this whole like. I mean, are you sure you're going to use it?
I know. That's the thing, right? Like, I crave, like, I miss that part about getting up and, like, being on a call and whiteboarding with people. Now, I mean, there's software whiteboards, okay? That's a thing that exists, and, like, I can use that in Teams, but it's not the same. Like, I can't draw well with the mouse. I don't have, like, a drawing. Like, why don't
you try, like, a Wacom tablet or something?
Wacom, barely newer. But I could. You're right. I could get something like that and sketch stuff out. It's going to be so. To answer your question, the answer is it's tangentially important to the work I'm going to be doing right now. When I go back to my regular job, if some more changes continue to happen over there, where I have to do more high-level design and architecture, it will become more important. So, will I use it? Probably. Is it worth $2,200 minimum to find out? Probably not. So, I'm more in line with you. So, maybe a tablet is the answer. Let's see. Where can I get one of those? I don't even know how much they're going for these days. Oh, Wacom Intuos Creative Pen USB tablet.
Well, it looks Wacom, like the Cintiq line has like a screen. So you can
Wacom Bamboo Ink. Wacom Bamboo Ink plus Smart Stylus. is for sketching, drawing, and annotating on Windows Ink enabled 2-in-1 devices. Oh, it's just a stylus. Oh, that's if you already have something you can write on. Wacom Intuos Pro Creative Pen Tablet Small.
So what about something like gonna put a link in the notes for those of you following along.
Okay.
So I put a link to the Wacom Cintiq 16. There's other sizes and whatnot. Essentially, it's a Wacom tablet. So if you think of those bad boys, it's like you basically can draw on them. They're great for artists and that kind of stuff. But the newer ones basically have a screen, so can like see. You don't have that separation of using a pen on something and having to look at your regular monitor to see. Yeah, you could use some, but again, this is $650. So, meh.
Yeah, it's the 16-inch, and then there's a Cintiq Pro 24, Pro 24 Touch. Wow. I mean, this is just as much as those whiteboards when you start getting into these bigger ones. Wacom Cintiq. Okay, so there's the 16 Pro and then the Cintiq 16. Learn 3D sculpting. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you hit on an excellent point. I think part of the reason I didn't think about these is like I would have to like draw on it while I was looking at my screen, and part of the reason I like drawing in my notebook or drawing on a whiteboard is I can see exactly what I'm drawing, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's it. The newer Cintiqs have, because before you were right, like it was just something that you could put a pen down on and it was pressure sensitive, where the new ones actually have the screen built in, so you're interacting directly with them. Granted, the price went up, so
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. That's a good point. Connecting to a PC. I'm just kind of reading some of these things. Connecting to Cisco WebEx. Like I'm just reading about how you can connect this. Oh wow. Huh.
I mean, if you want something a little smaller, the Wacom One,
Wacom.
It's 13.3-inch screen, and it's only $400.
Only. Yeah, I don't know. But see, here's what I would. Okay, so you gave me good feedback, right? You're skeptical. Drew, are you going to use this? I thought you were going to laugh at me, but I didn't hear you laugh. So maybe this isn't as crazy as I'm making it sound.
No, I mean, I get the urge, right? And I you're like me. It's like, I have a problem. Let me solve it by spending money because gear is fun.
Gear is fun.
But I mean, that's a lot of money to have something on the back of your wall that you use for you're really passionate about for a week and a half and then stop using it.
Right. Right. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought I would kind of crowdsource this. I don't know. I'm gonna still think about it. My needs are met in the immediate term, and again, if I don't have money to spend on a Herman Miller chair, I don't have money to spend on this. But tax return season's coming up, so Daddy might have some money burning a hole in his pocket, but no, I can't. I got other expenses and things. But anyway, I just thought I'd kind of bring it up here. Okay, let's shift gears a little bit, get through this next topic so we can talk about Mass Effect. The other big news of the week was Microsoft is buying Activision. I like it for reasons that are not related to my employment. I like it for other reasons, but you do not. So let's hit me up. Why?
Because okay, so Activision is not the largest. Well, okay. All right, let's take a step back from that. The Activision owns a lot of like video game IP, right? A lot.
Yep.
Right. They're a big conglomerate publisher. Blizzard. I think what Call of Duty comes out of there.
Yep.
Like some of the biggest, like World of Warcraft. That's them. Overwatch. Like it's big, right? And they've generally been under the we make games for everybody, right? They'll publish games on regardless of the platform. And granted, they've also been in the news because apparently, some of their companies or the brands that they own were very, very problematic. And Activision, they did some naughty stuff. Well, technically Blizzard, but Activision basically responded by, Blizzard's problematic for women. And that was their response.
Right.
So like Microsoft's getting Activision for, let's be honest, probably a sweetheart deal. Uh, Still, it's like their biggest acquisition ever.
$70 billion.
Yep. But I just think taking uh one of the biggest third-party game developers and then moving them into someone who is heavily invested in, you know, the Windows and Xbox platform, it just sucks for people that like me who don't like PlayStation and Nintendo fans. This sucks. This sucks for you. This is awful. This is awful.
Well,
it basically means that once all of those existing contracts run out, all these games are going to be, you know, PC and Xbox exclusives.
Well, so I hear you, and I think that is a valid concern. But I'll offer a slightly different spin on that, and this is why I think this is a good thing. I am an avid Call of Duty player. For better or worse, I get sucked in every year to the Call of Duty franchise. I love to hate it, I guess is the best way I could describe it, because I play it and, you know, whatever, okay? One thing that has always bothered me, though, is that Call of Duty is one of those games that, for whatever reason, has a much bigger home with people on PlayStation. Like, for instance, I could hop in a game lobby for Call of Duty right now, and one of the recent things that Call of Duty introduced is this concept of crossplay, to where I could join a lobby, and if I have crossplay turned on, and people on Xbox have crossplay turned on, and people on PlayStation have crossplay turned on, you can all play together, okay? So you have PC and Xbox and PS5 players all sort of playing in this giant pool, okay? Overwhelmingly, most of the players that I see in lobby are PlayStation players. And it's like not even close. Like, it's mostly PlayStation players. So I would say that a majority of people who have PlayStation 4s, PlayStation 5s are playing Call of Duty. And traditionally, Activision has sort of catered to that, in that a lot of Call of Duty features land on the PlayStation 5 or the PlayStation platform.
Sony pays for that.
Yeah, exactly. So Sony pays for that. And it quite frankly, it kind of sucks. Like, let me give you a perfect example. So in last year's Call of Duty Cold War, there was a game mode called Zombies, and it's exactly what the title implies, is you play co-op and you fight zombies. There was an entire like sub mode of Zombies that was exclusive to PlayStation for a year. Like, the PC and the Xbox people didn't get to see that for a year. Now, I understand Sony pays for the privilege and whatever, but console exclusivity, I just don't think is a good thing, period. Regardless of which way it falls, whether it falls on the PlayStation side or whether it falls on other platform sides. You know, I think the only company that can really do that well is Nintendo, the way they protect their IP, right? Like, hey, you want Zelda, like, you got to play it on a Switch. You want Mario Kart, you got to play it on a Switch. And for some reason, I'm okay with that. But when it comes to these games that are released on multiple platforms on purpose, I think that exclusivity is bad. And, you know, look, there's obviously an appetite for these games.
It's going to be worse now, because as soon as all those contracts run out, there'll be Xbox exclusives.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I disagree. Look what they did when they acquired Bethesda. They basically said, hey, all the existing contracts and stuff we're going to fulfill. After that, everything Bethesda makes will be PC and Xbox only. There is no way they're not going to do that with Activision. Absolutely no way. They'll continue to like support existing titles. They'll fulfill their existing contracts. I think existing things that are in development will continue to ship for what they're doing. But everything that starts out from as soon as this deal closes, that's like a new project, there's no way it's coming to Nintendo or because that's exactly what they did with Bethesda. They came out and said it. It's like, yeah, like Elder Scrolls 5, that's Xbox only, baby. Like, there will never be another Bethesda title on the PlayStation 5. Because that's exactly what Microsoft
I mean,
said.
you're not wrong. But I think when you're talking about an institution like Call of Duty, that
Oh,
outsells
well,
those games.
that one, I think Sony's like financial deal goes into like 2025.
Yeah.
So that one will be there because Sony's already locked that in. But I can't see it happening. Absolutely, like why would they? Like, hey, why would we pay for a competitor to also have this game where we
Well,
can
I
easily
think
say, hey, the Call of Duty, whatever it is, free
so.
on
I think
on Game Pass.
yeah. Well, okay. So that's just it. I think that it's less about what console is exclusive on versus which family of entertainment devices can you play it on where it'll cost you less to play it, which would then drive more hardware sales, right? I don't think it's necessarily about saying you can only get this game if you have an Xbox. I think it's more about, yeah, we're going to publish this game and it's going to be available, right? It's a game, like Microsoft owns the game studio or whatever, but they're going to publish this game.
No, there's no way. There's no way.
But, in an effort to sell more Game Pass subscriptions, which is recurring revenue, I think it makes more sense to say you could have it as part of the subscription versus having to buy it, digitally or whatever.
They will. I guarantee you do. Everything they can, they will not put on PlayStation 5. It doesn't make any sense for them. Like, I mean, granted, they'd get that, like, they would get they would have to increase their development costs, and then not get to like. I mean, I think it just makes sense for them to go, hey, Windows, you can play it on a PC, or you can play it on Game Pass. Like, I mean, because I look at Bethesda, that's exactly what they're doing with Bethesda.
Yeah, but what game has come out that from Bethesda that's been a thing?
Well, it's because it's everything that's going to be coming out next, things that are in development, like Elder Scrolls 5.
Yeah, but when is that going to be released?
Oh, well, who knows?
Right.
Yeah.
So it hasn't.
I think out of Bethesda, I think Deathloop is going to be the last PlayStation 5 game or PlayStation game. Looking at the stuff coming, like, because that was already in progress. Those deals were already in place. I'm pretty sure that's going to be the last one.
I don't know. Like, I could see it, right? But I just think that there are enough consoles out there that you will make more money selling those games to people who have PlayStations versus.
But investors love service revenue, Drew. They don't care about that kind of stuff. They want to see Game Pass.
Yeah, but you just said it. They care about service revenue, right? So it's all about driving people over to platforms. Yeah, they want to see Game Pass subscriptions. That doesn't mean they can't still sell the games to other people. You'll get it. Oh. You'll get it part of your subscription, right? It'll drive people to the Game Pass subscription to get them. But I still think those games come out. I would be shocked. And this isn't Drew, the Microsoft employee, talking, right? This is. I truly believe that when you have an institution, a yearly thing, where so many people buy Call of Duty, it would be. I think you would end up losing money on the amount of money it takes to make that game if you don't release it on PlayStation.
I don't think I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just look at what they're doing with Bethesda and looking at that as an example, like, because they're not doing that with Bethesda. Like,
yeah,
like they're just not. Like, all the new stuff. Starfield is another example. They canceled development on the PlayStation port of that because it's going to be PC and Xbox only.
Well, I would be sad that it would happen, just because, again, I feel like the majority of Call of Duty players are playing it on PlayStation. Like, I don't have numbers to support that. It's just anecdotal. So I feel like they would lose a huge amount of players, and there would be some other shooter franchise that would have to spring up on the Sony side, which Sony has tried to do before, right? With like games like Killzone, which were really good, by the way. I wish they hadn't killed those off. But they're going to have to come up with a different franchise to sort of compete with that, and then everybody sort of loses. So, all right, let's get to the meat and potatoes. All right, so we'll keep the game train rolling here. So let's talk about Mass Effect 1. Spoiler alert is in effect.
Spoiler alert. If you don't want spoilers for Mass Effect 1, leave now.
Yeah, and feel free to throw some kind of like weird sound effect in here.
Hey nerds, there's gonna be spoilers.
Okay. So you finished Mass Effect 1.
I did.
Okay, so let's talk about overall impressions first. I get the impression that you liked it.
I did. I do have some beefs with it. I barely did any side missions unless I kind of like fell into them, or I saw one that I'm like, that sounds kind of cool. I pretty much just went through and did the main plot. I like. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I like the story a lot. I like the characters. It was good. I really I enjoyed it. I think, I don't know. Did I just text this to you, or did I post this on Twitter? Or maybe I just said it to myself. You warned me about the Mako. You warned me about the Mako, which is the vehicle that you get in that you drive around in places. My headcanon was that the Mako was just like full of like half empty kegs and like Miller Lite cans.
Yeah.
And it was just like people are just shotgunning beers and doing beer bongs and keg stands, and that's why it's so hard to control the Mako, because everybody's just drunk. But you kind of just got through them and you did it, and it was mostly just drive until you found some sort of architecture that wouldn't let you drive anymore.
Yep.
Get out, do a thing. Yeah, like, I mean, the gunplay is not going to win any awards, but it's serviceable. It was fine. It was fine. I did my major beef with it was so a lot of games like this, right? A lot of games, there's an overarching story that after you finish, you can kind of go back, like, okay, the main plot's done. Now you can go back and do some side missions. Or if that's not the case, it basically gives you a warning saying, hey, point of no return. Mass Effect 1's just like middle fingers, baby, credits, it's over.
Yep.
Back to the main menu, fucker, you're done. Which kind of made me mad, because I think I would have gone through and done some of the other side missions and whatnot. But after I rolled credits and all that stuff, I was like, you know what? Drew loves Mass Effect 2. That evening I loaded it up and did my save, and I started Mass Effect 2, and all
right, so before I want to hit a hard pause on Mass Effect 2. I want to talk about Mass Effect 1 before we get in there. Okay. So hit me with some of the plot points. Did anybody in your party die?
Oh, yeah, I lost 2 members of my party. Again, people, spoilers coming up. Hold on. I took some. Did I take some notes? Hold on. I know I did. Okay. So, Rex.
Okay.
I was just having. So there's a part where like you're like, or whatever his name. He's the big bad guy is working on a cure for the genophage, and I'm having a nice friendly conversations with them, trying to figure out what I'm going to do.
Fast.
And then Ashley just fucking murders him.
I told you, it comes out of nowhere, right?
Just bam, he's dead. And I assume there's probably a way I could have handled that he would have lived.
You are correct.
But like, I was basically like, you know, me personally hadn't made up my mind how I was going to handle that situation. I felt like my conversation choices, like I was exploring the option of like, well, maybe we should like see what this cure is all about. And then just, as you put it, the space Nazis, like alien bad, boom, dead.
Yeah. Hey, Shepard, I did you a favor. Yeah.
So, else, and like in that mission, there's a point where like your team kind of splits up, and you have a choice of of saving one of two of your crewmates. I don't know if there's a way to save both of them. I haven't looked to see if there's anything like that. But basically, like the way it was presented for me was like, hey, Caden, which is, you know, the hot hunky dude, is in one spot, and Ashley is over somewhere else. Which one are you gonna save? And I was like, well, fuck Ashley. Fuck her in particular. I'm mad at her.
Yep.
So I didn't save her. But then.
So depending on how that mission plays out, right? So at least for me, right? Like initially the team has to split up, and you have to choose who's going to lead a team to escort a special forces team, and who's going to come with you. And then there comes a point in the mission where someone has to arm a bomb, or you have to go and you have to leave them there, or you can go help out the people that are leading the special forces team. And in that moment, it's very clear, like, oh, whoever I support is going to live. But then, plot twist, you get another sort of stab at it, and you can sort of reverse your decision and go save the other person.
I was all in on Caden. I didn't get that.
Yeah.
I was like Ashley. She can just meh.
Yeah. And that's okay. And that's okay.
And she died. And I was okay with that.
You lost Rex and you lost Ashley. Now, Rex is preventable. You can save Rex.
Okay.
And he plays a small part in Mass Effect 2. He does come back in Mass Effect 3. Now, if it makes you feel any better, he is not a playable character in 2 or 3.
Okay.
He is a supporting character in 2 and 3. But it's interesting. I think I did play through a series where he wasn't around, and stuff definitely plays out much differently later on. But I won't spoil that for you. But yeah, it's a shot out of the blue. I remember the first time I ever played through Mass Effect, I was having that conversation with Rex, and it was like, hey, let's just talk about this. And he continues to escalate, and then Ashley's just like, nope.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have played through multiple playthroughs where Rex has died, but sometimes I go out of my way to save him, and I'm much like you. I have played through games where I have let Ashley or Caden die. My most recent playthrough, I let Caden die, just because I wanted to try to do something with Ashley in one of these playthroughs that I'd never gotten her to do before, not like romance related, but a special mission later on type thing. But no, I couldn't get it to work, so I was like, fuck, I should have kept Caden. Okay, so other plot points. At the end of the game, did you let the council die?
No, I saved the council.
Save the council. Okay.
Save the council. Yes.
Now I'm trying to remember.
I felt that was the right thing to do for humanity's kind of role at the larger table. Like, and it was because it was right, because at the end you're like, hey, you saved the council. In a reward, you get to put someone on the council.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who did you put?
I put Captain Anderson because I cannot stand that ambassador dude. I just can't. I don't like him. I wish there was a plot line where I could like just secretly assassinate that dude because he's a bag of dicks. So I picked Captain Anderson. He's on the council now.
Cool.
Yep.
Cool. Let's see. What were some of the other choices? The Rachni Queen. What did you do with her?
I saved her and let her go.
Okay. Cool. Let's see. What other choices did you have in there? Trying to think what the other major plot points were. Did you do any of the Cerberus stuff? You said you didn't do many side missions, so
no,
you probably didn't.
I did not. I did not at all. In fact, when I started Mass Effect 2, I had no idea who they were.
Yeah, so to give you a little bit of context, there are some side missions that you can do in Mass Effect 1 where you will come across this organization known as Cerberus. Now, in Mass Effect 1, they are sort of positioned as like a terrorist, pro-human organization. In Mass Effect 2, the entire plot of that game is based around you working for the Cerberus organization. So one of the side missions you could have done in Mass Effect 1 is you come across some dead Marines that were lured into a trap. You investigate it. You find out that Cerberus was behind it. You let the admiral of whatever group was responsible for these soldiers know that. He goes and does an investigation. He gets captured, and you have to go try to save him. So that is a series of side missions that plays out that gets you sort of introduced to Cerberus in Mass Effect 1. Very tangentially. You sort of have to read about them in the codex of the game to really like learn about who they are. So coming into Mass Effect 2, and you're like, hey, I'm part of Cerberus now, and you're like, who? So I totally get that.
But the game did well. Like totally there was a dialogue option where basically was like, who now? Who are you? And they were very good about explaining it, and then like walking me through the whole thing. Like, okay, I get it. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. What other Mass Effect 1 choices would you have gone through?
I really didn't do a lot of side missions. I did Garrus's side plot, his little side thing. You go and murder the doctor. That was good. I like him.
Garrus is cool.
I did the whole romance thing with Liara.
Cool. Good. That actually sets you up perfectly good for some really good Mass Effect 2 and especially Mass Effect 3 content. She comes back as a player in 3.
I literally, if I was not talking to you, I'd be going through the first parts of that tonight.
So that's pretty much it for Mass Effect 1. You kill Saren, you find out that there is this force called the Reapers that are some unstoppable non-organic life force that is meant to basically wipe out every sentient life every 50,000 years. Civilizations rise, civilization falls. They basically hit a giant reset button on the galaxy.
Mm-hmm. And you learn that everything, like the mass relays aren't Prothean. They're Reapers, and they did all the technology, and basically everything was set up for them to know exactly where organic life would be, so they could kill it more efficiently.
Right, exactly. They basically have preset paths for societies and civilizations and species to. They can predict where they're going to be. You're absolutely right. So that is the entire plot of Mass Effect 1. And
so there's one additional thing that happened that really absolutely floored me, because I don't think they would do this today. But the whole time I was talking to Saren, it was me trying, like, okay, yeah, I get you're evil, but you're evil because you've got a, the indoctrination, right? Where essentially the Sovereign, this evil Reaper, is taking over people's minds. So I was trying to get him to fight it, which finally came to a head where at the very, you're like, okay, I'm ready to fight him. And then he kills himself.
Oh, you made him do that.
I made him do that. Yes. And then he just comes back and you have to fight him anyway. But I convinced him to quote unquote do the right thing, and he often yep.
So did you play like a Paragon type route then?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
I was definitely like, do whatever it takes to get the mission done. But if there was a chance to like save a life or do the right thing, I would do, as long as it didn't jeopardize the mission. That's what I did. That's how I kind of played. Like, if it was like, well, I could do this thing, but I'm like, the big bad's going to get away. Like, nope. But, I tried to, not be a dick. Yeah.
All right. So you wrapped up Mass Effect 1. You loaded in your save for Mass Effect 2. So tell me what you've done in Mass Effect 2. Give me general impression so far.
So it's much grander in scope. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just, there's so many more, like, fundamentally you can see like the same bones are there. Like, I'm guessing it runs on the same engine, like off the same code base, but there's just so much more to it. Some of it I like, some of it I could do without. I think I guess if I have one gripe, I think the heat system for guns in Mass Effect 1 was better than the ammo system for Mass Effect 2. That's just me. Having to pick up clips feels, in the far future, feels mundane. But ammo is plentiful. Like, you rarely run out of ammo, and even if you do, it's like, okay, the people that I just murdered probably just dropped a whole bunch of clips. It'll be fine. The whole like upgrade and like it's not crafting, it's like a research upgrade mechanic. I like that quite a bit. It's got me probing planets for which I guess there was also stuff you could have, like, there was a side quest for like finding resources in Mass Effect 1. I was like, I'm not doing that. It's good. Like, it's the whole thing feels like it's just ratcheted it up in scale and scope. I wish they would have brought the characters you like, your beloved characters back a little earlier, but I think I'm getting to the point where I'm starting to re-meet some of those same people. I don't want to give a lot of Mass Effect 2 spoilers out. It's good. I like it a bit. So the funniest thing to me is, so I when I ported my character over, I like my Mass Effect 1, like, I went through and I went to the character creator and I changed a bunch of stuff. I mean, not dramatically from like the stock like Jane Shepard, but I did change some things. So when I imported her into Mass Effect 2, I'm like, you know what? I'm not changing anything, right? She's going. And I think I should have, because like I look like a mannequin walking around, and everyone else's facial textures are way better.
Yeah.
So I look really out of place. But I'm just saying, it's because I'm just in my head. I'm like, it's because of the Lazarus thing. Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you think of that, by the way? That whole opening sequence where the ship is breaking apart and you're walking through it. I just thought that was super cool.
It was very cool. Yeah, I like that quite a bit. Yeah. So far I'm really enjoying it. I'm playing it entirely too much at this moment. I think I started Tuesday night, and I think I already have like 20 hours in.
Wow. Okay, so without getting spoiler heavy, before I give you some general advice that is going to be very important, again, for reasons I'll get into in a minute, how many crew members have you recruited so far?
So it kind of presents that to you in 2 chunks.
Yeah.
I've completed the first chunk. So I have I can say names.
Oh, yeah, say names.
Okay, so I have Grunt.
Yep.
I have Jack.
Yep.
I have Miranda, obviously. I have Jacob. I've got Garrus. Morgan. And the thief. The thief and the
mercenary.
The mercenary.
Yep.
Right. So then after you
those are DLC, by the way.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah. Kasumi and Zahid were DLC.
I can feel that, because at this point, it's interesting you say that, because they basically don't have dialogue options at this point. Like, right. You can talk to them, but they just tell you a little story. There's like no dialogue tree.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna give you some non-spoiler specific stuff that is gonna help you in this game. Okay. There are points in this game that once you progress through them, will advance the main story ahead, much like Mass Effect 1 did. Now, in your travels, you will pick up side quests, either from your party members or from people at locations. My advice to you is this. If you are coming up on a mission that feels like it is going to be a major plot advancement, do as many of the side missions as you can before you do it, because you might not get a chance to do them again.
I've learned my lesson from Mass Effect 1. I'm at a point now where, like, I've got a bunch of side missions that look interesting. I'm going to do those before, and the crew has asked me to do stuff. I'm going to go ahead and handle those before I get anybody else on my team.
Okay. So what you just said is the key to enjoying Mass Effect 2. You could totally speedrun it. You could get to the end of the game, and get a conclusion that sets you up for Mass Effect 3. However, if you want the full fat major, like, eat a pizza like a cookie serving of Mass Effect 2, you have to help your crew members do their individual quests. Not only is it really good character development, and you will find that you gravitate more towards certain characters, at least for me, in doing those missions. What I want you to do is, the next time you get on your squad selection screen, there is a way to, like, look at the info of a squad member.
It's in your personal terminal. Yeah,
it's there too. Mm-hmm. If you inspect each character, there are certain statistics about each character. One of them is a property that says loyalty.
Yeah, and it also locks out abilities, so they have to be loyal before they get, like, all of their skills. Yeah.
My advice to you is this: if you are able, get them all to loyal before the end of the game. Okay. Now, warning: it is possible to make someone loyal and then lose their loyalty later. Okay. That is thing number one that I was not aware of the first time I played Mass Effect 2. And I'm telling you this not to make sure that you do things a different way. I just want you to be aware that that is a thing. So you may have to make choices. Okay.
Yep. Okay.
Depending on your, and this is the other thing about Mass Effect 2 that is much different about Mass Effect 1. There is no charm skill anymore. You will get Paragon or Renegade options only available to you only if you advance those markers beyond those little, like, set points in your character screen. So, like, in certain encounters, you may not get the red or blue option if you do not have those maxed out. So it almost behooves you to maybe go a little bit harder in one direction versus playing middle of the road. The other thing I want to tell you is getting somebody's loyalty is also not guaranteed. You may choose options in the missions that make them loyal that you will lock out their loyalty. And that's not the end of the world. But these choices matter for setting up the end game and for setting up things in Mass Effect 3.
Got it.
Let's see. The other thing that Mass Effect 2 does is it opens up casual romances, meaning that you may be committed to Liara, but there might be other romances that are basically not companion members that you can romance that won't jeopardize your relationship with her.
Got it. Well, her and I are about to have a very, very interesting reunion. So.
Oh, right. So, are you starting on some of the DLC then?
Yeah. So, basically, as soon as I got a mission where I knew where she was, and I had the ability to do so, I made a beeline right there, which also is convenient because I have to do like 3 other things on this planet. I literally I know where she is. Mm-hmm. I can see that area. That's where I saved and stopped to come down for the podcast.
Okay, cool. Yep. So there is an entire DLC dedicated to Liara in that game. Now, let's say that you played Mass Effect 2 back in the day when I played it, and that DLC wasn't there. You still do a lot with Liara in Mass Effect 2, but she's not a playable character. Okay. There is an entire DLC section of this game called Lair of the Shadow Broker that she is like kind of the star of. Highly encourage you to knock that one out while you're on that planet. Because you will start it on that planet. It is very good. It's very good.
I'm ready to do whatever she tells me. So
yeah, that blue skin does it for me.
Mm-hmm. If she wants me to go like murder a bunch of people, that's what we're doing.
That's what you're doing. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's all I want to tell you about Mass Effect 2. Who you got right now in that game? Like, who are your favorite companions so far?
I'm really glad that Garrus is back. I liked him in the first one quite a bit. I'm glad that he's got a very interesting story now in Mass Effect 2.
Yeah. I like the way you sort of rescue him and he gets all scarred up and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a really great story. It's a great little combat episode as well. I mean, to be honest, everyone else I could just kind of leave.
Really?
Yeah. I mean,
I love Morden. I love Morden so fucking much.
Yeah, I just okay. Yes, he is. You're absolutely right. He is very fun. Yeah, Morden. You know what? Morden is definitely my number 2. The second one. I bring him on missions because I like what he says.
Right.
Not because he's useful, but he just says things that make me kind of laugh. Also, like, I'm kind of getting into what I think. I have a feeling I know where the Miranda story is going, and I think I'm in for that. So,
by the way, fun fact about the Legendary Edition of Mass Effect 2: they made her butt smaller.
Smaller
because she is thick with 2 Qs.
I mean, she's still pretty. Like,
she's genetically enhanced, Shepard.
Yeah, she's supposed to be perfect in every way.
Yep.
Like Jacob. Yeah.
Yeah, Jacob's Mass Effect 2's Caden, right? Let's be honest, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let me think for a second. So you've got Jack. Jack's pretty cool. She's just a wild card. She hates Cerberus. So if I'm thinking where you're at, you have Morden, you have Jack, you have Grunt, you have Garrus, Miranda, Jacob, Kasumi, Zahid. Who else would you have recruited? Who am I missing?
I think that's it.
So you still have some more to get, and some of them right? Like, I mean, this isn't a spoiler. Like, you have to go recruit Tally, and you've already run into her once.
I ran into her once. Yep.
But you didn't get a chance to recruit her yet. But you're going to get another shot.
I tried, but she's like, "No, I got things to do." Like,
I'm busy.
Yep.
Go away. By the way, she's also a really interesting romance option just because of all of the complications of being a Quarian.
Yeah.
So
how does the suit work? Yeah.
Well, if you romance her, you find out in Mass Effect 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but for your next playthrough, I think, and you have to be a male shepherd to romance her. She's not a multi-gender option. Okay. One more thing. Mass Effect 2 introduces this concept, and it becomes more important in Mass Effect 3. There may be missions that are time sensitive. So you might get a mission, and it only happens once in Mass Effect 2, but it can happen multiple times in Mass Effect 3, I think, where if you don't do the mission that is sort of set out in front of you right away, it might have implications later on. So won't tell you what it is, but okay. It should be fairly apparent in Mass Effect 2. It is less apparent in Mass Effect 3.
Okay.
Any other comments about Mass Effect 2? Because there's one other thing I want to talk about.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm actually on the Mass Effect 3 part of my playthrough, and what has become very apparent to me is two things. Number one, I have memory hold very large portions of that game.
Oh.
I have forgotten how good Mass Effect 3 is. I mean, I love 2. 2 for me is still the better game in terms of story, but 3 is really good. I'm forgetting just how powerful some of the stuff is in 3. I also had the opportunity to play some of the DLC for Mass Effect 3. I have played 2 of the 3 packs. I have played Leviathan, I have played Omega, and I think there's one more called Citadel. Leviathan was amazing. You actually get to get some really good background on the Reapers in that, and I thought it's almost like playing Sherlock Holmes a little bit. I highly encourage you to play that once you get to Mass Effect 3. I thought it was excellent. Omega is also really good. When you were in Mass Effect 2, when you're on Citadel, you met Aria, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Aria plays a very large role in the Omega DLC. And she's voiced by Carrie-Anne Moss, and she's a total badass, and you help her take back her space station, which is, again, really fun. Mass Effect 3. So one thing I totally forgot about this, and it didn't dawn on me till I got to that part of the game, is in Mass Effect 3, there is this thing called galactic readiness, because you are basically, and when you get to Mass Effect 3, you are at war, and you have to prepare all the different militaries of all the different races to gear up to fight the Reapers. And you will do missions to gain loyalty of not your crew members, but of different alien races, you basically get assets. And what this translates to is a number. And it is called your galactic readiness or military strength. I forget what the effective military strength is what they call it. And in the original Mass Effect 3, in order to get the quote unquote good ending, that number had to be a certain value. That was how it correlated to. Now you could beat the game if it was lower, but you would get a less satisfying ending. And again, for reasons that I won't get into right now, they had to change the whole ending stuff to Mass Effect 3, which I'm actually really excited to get to that point because I want to see how it goes. But anyway, if you wanted to get the highest rating, okay, you had to download an app, right? Because this was a point in time where everything had an app. So there was a Mass Effect 3 app that you could tap things into, and it would give you more assets, and it was all tied to your account. There was a time and a place for that, but those apps aren't even available anymore. You can't download them, right? So they got rid of all of that, and they changed up the totals you need for Mass Effect 3. So I'm pretty much well above what I think the target is. So it's interesting the way they changed that up. But Mass Effect 3, again, not a spoiler, but you really have to do your side missions before you hit the plot points, because you will lock yourself out of side missions really easily in Mass Effect 3. Very easily. So just a heads up. So good. I'm glad you're enjoying it. First and foremost, I'm glad you're enjoying it.
I do have one more Mass Effect 2 comment before we wrap this thing up. I love going back to the Citadel the first time and just seeing how different it was.
Yeah.
The first Mass Effect 1, it was the vibe it got was politics. Mass Effect 2, it's hey, do you like pop-up ads? because we're a giant pop-up ad now. Capitalism, baby.
Yeah, and the areas are a little bit smaller, a little more confined now.
It's much smaller now. Yeah, it's not just sprawling. Yeah. I just thought it was interesting because like it was so polished and subdued in the first one, and the second one it's like neon and advertisements and shops and like
But it is a whole vibe though. It is a whole ass vibe for sure.
It is.
Yeah. Whew. Okay, buddy. Well, I fully expect you to come back next week because if you're already 20 hours into Mass Effect 2, you're probably getting close to getting some of the crucial plot points. So I'm really interested to hear how Mass Effect 2 shakes out for you.
Dear listener, you should just expect Mass Effect spoilers for at least
for the next couple weeks. Yeah.
Just strap in. We're going to be talking. We'll leave it at the end, but yeah. It's good. I recommend it. Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Get through 1. 2 is really good. And then you can join in on the fun. I say we wrap this up, Drew.
Yeah, let's do it.
Hey, on the internet, doingtheirbest.com. I'm on doing their best. God damn it. I tried to rush.
Take your time.
Failed. We're on the internet at doingtheirbest.com and on Twitter at doingbestpod. I'm on Twitter at Paul Baylor. And where can we find you, Drew?
Yeah, for all Mass Effect related content, you can find me on Twitter at Pittsburgh, Pittfurg.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody.
See ya.